In the last 5 months, I've taken off in practice from longer than 5 lefts 5 times maybe.
I kind of had a little period where I was just running through a lot and getting mental with like the wind and everything.
Every now and again I'll be thinking about something that I really don't need to be thinking about.
You're in it, it's really hard to break out of it because I just don't have any you don't have any confidence, I don't know. It's like trying to run into a headwind and make like the biggest bar of your life, you know, it's hard.
As many great feelings and you know, as there are, there's like twice as many bad feelings, so.
I know that I have days where something is off and it's just for that day, and then when I come back the next day I'll still be thinking about that piece, knowing it's not a consistent part of my vault, and I have to tell myself, like, that's not going to happen again, that's not how you vault.
And then there are some days and I just figured the hell with it, I'm going to go bound for practice as opposed to trying to jump.
To try to fix it over here usually doesn't work. Usually you need to go over on the track or onto a drill stand or onto a slide box and fix it there first.
There's a lot of different skills in terms of sports psychology that athletes have to learn how to do.
If I can't visualize myself taking off at the end of the, like when I stand at the back of the runway, I know I won't take off.
They have to go ahead and be able to visualize their performance, internalize that visualization, and then during the practice or the competition session, go ahead and play that picture back physically.
There's always a reason that you're screwing up, you know, and you just got to step back and try to analyze what that is. If you get too emotional about it, you know, you take it too personally that you screw up one day, you know, you're not going to make it in the sport because it's too frustrating. You know, there's too many times when things don't go right. It might be a headwind, you know, anything could happen.
Like today, the wind wasn't that great when I was jumping. You just have to go and you just have to go for it. You can't let that hold you back.
Yeah, there's no such thing as perfect competition, and all these things are gonna, you know, make it harder for you to get what you want to get done.
Success can be followed by failure. Even when things are going right, the next height might not.
If you have a bad jump, you have to, you know, completely forget about that and go back to everything you know and say, okay, I'm confident, I know I'm a good jumper, I know I can do this.
You really just have to go for it as opposed to thinking twice about anything.
Pole vaulting is 80% mental, you know, I mean, you can have people, you know, who are physically gifted, you know, but if mentally they're not in it, you know, then there's nothing there.
I think it's very, very much mental.
Focusing on one thing rather than like hit your plant, row hard, you know, swing, it's just overload. You have to just take it one at a time.
The performance has to be free flow, has to be void of any outside influences. It's an opportunity for the athlete to apply the things they've been learning and clear their mind and perform.
In a meet, I try to turn it all off and just let the training come through.
You can't really think about it in a meet, you know, it's like practice is the time for that.
I think the only consistent thing that you have is really what you've been working on in practice, you know, and I cling to that, you know, when I'm in every situation, you know, as tough as it may be.
In a meet, the best thing to do is just relax and do what you've been doing the whole time.
I was back there just saying, this is an easy bar, this is an easy bar, come on, let's do this. And you just have to keep, you know, even if you don't feel that great, just keep saying it, and it really just helps to put your confidence, I mean, just raise it a little, you know, if you feel like, oh, I don't know if I can do this, just say, I can do this, I've got this, come on.
The whole nature of track and field is to push your body to the limit.
You learn that things don't come easy. It takes a lot of hard work.
You're not going to get anything for free, and you have to work hard for it. It doesn't just like happen all of a sudden.
And so you got to put in hours and hours. You know, every day I'm out there like 3-4 hours, you know, like lifting or running or working on technique or whatever it is that you do for training.
Some of the things, workouts we do with my coach, I would never do that stuff if I wasn't vaulting, you know, it's just, you're so disciplined. If you want to get better, you have to do it.
They don't do it for money, they just do it for the love of the sport.
I like the fly, I like the adrenaline rush, the free fall at the end.
I don't know, there's nothing like making a big bar. You're always kind of chasing that feeling.
I'm just like addicted to it because, you know, there's always like something else that you can do, you know, to get better.
Every time you have a great jump, you always want to take another one. Every time you have a good day, it makes you want to come back out and have another day.
But as you start bending the pole, you start going higher and higher, you know, it's just that much more addicting, you know, like how great it feels.
You can't get enough of it. I mean, it's like the adrenaline rush, it's addictive.
When you're flying, what, like 13, 14 feet in the air, it's a big rush.
There's no better feeling than, you know, jumping higher than you've ever jumped. From that moment on, you can look back and say, that was the best I've ever done this particular thing in my life, you know, and there's not a lot of things you can do that with.
When I come out here and PR like I did today, it's such a great feeling. Like, you just want to work that much harder and just perfect everything and keep PRing.
Like you're trying to attain some type of goal in and of yourself and not having to worry about anybody else holding you back.
I've dedicated so much to pole vaulting and track and field that if that wasn't in my life, I would have to be that dedicated in something else, you know, because I think it's just kind of part of me now.
There are a lot of people who will go through their whole life and they'll never know what it's like to get cheered for by a crowd or you know, to clear a bar, you know, by a foot or something like that, you know, like, or set a new personal best or whatever. And it feels great, you know.
The thrill of always pushing myself to get better and then the rewards of falling for longer and longer makes it worthwhile.